Hello, everybody, and welcome to Demo Night. Let's get the silly waves moving. All right, so here we are. Can you believe it? It's May already. And next time we're doing this Demo Night stuff, it will be in person in London at Bayes Business School in Finsbury Square. So if you're looking to join us in person during London Tech Week, please go and sign up on the Eventbrite, and I will put the link in the chat in a minute when the first one of us, Rachel, is giving her presentation. So, Demo Night. 5 minutes to show what you're working on, 5 minutes Q&A with the panel. Pedro Guimaraes, why on earth do we do this event? Why have we been doing it for so long?
Well, we're trying to provide feedback to ensure that people don't waste their time, energy, and dreams building things that no one really wants or is willing to pay for. That's what we try to support the founder.
It's a crazy thought, right? But it's the number one reason that startups fail globally. And the big thing for all of us is that our genius is seeing the world as a founder, seeing the world in a different way, wanting to change something that other people have accepted. Our insanity is no matter how many people say no, we still carry on doing it until we're bankrupt. And as more than 9 out of 10 startups fail, all of us on this call, me included, Tiana to the exception, are idiots, because not only have we done this once, but we've done it more than one time, and we keep doing it, and we keep spending time with people that do it, even though we're all destined to fail, no matter how hard we try. So on that very spiritual note, I would say welcome to our panelists today. And Tiana, could you introduce yourself, and then Pedro, and then we'll start with our first demo of the evening, which will be Rachel. So,
sure,
Tiana.
thank you, Steve. And hello, everybody. My name is Tiana. I'm the Chief Product Officer in Residence at Canopy and the Product Manager. I started working with startups some 15 years ago as a software developer and gradually transitioned towards the bigger picture. I already know some of the startups we have tonight, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing their progress and also to getting to know the others. So let's go.
Thank you so much, Tiana. Pedro Guimaraes, who the heck are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Pedro Guimaraes, the CEO in residence at Canopy Community. After a long 30 years building businesses and, actually buying, selling, failing some, of course, also. I'm decided to devote my time trying to help other founders and business people try to develop their own ideas and actually meet their dreams. Hopefully that in this way, I'll be a tiny part helping co-create a better world for us all to live in. And I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you so much, Pedro. All right, Rachel, well, it's over to you for your 5 minutes. If you want to share the screen, we'll get you all up and running. And
okay.
We'll hold you fairly tightly to the 5, okay?
Okay, thank you. Going, thanks. So how would you feel if you had to wait over 2 years for diagnosis and support for a condition that affected your child? This was my experience. I've got an autistic son called James, who's 10, and he, like many other autistic children, finds many aspects of everyday tasks, like getting dressed and cleaning his teeth, really tricky. We know that the number of autistic children is rising significantly, and they're facing a wide range of inequalities. And this is also having significant impacts on their parents and carers. We found out that 95% of autistic children find getting dressed tricky, and this is because of their complex physical and sensory needs, the challenges they have with initiating and planning tasks, the feelings of overwhelm and anxiety that they experience, and for some children, their demand avoidance profiles. And this day in, day out challenge has significant implications on families, particularly difficult to often get to school and get out of the house in the mornings. I'm a physiotherapist and doing a PhD looking at how people use technology in everyday life at the moment. And I realised that if I could combine my son's love of gaming to enable him to complete everyday tasks, this could make a real difference to our lives. So we set about co-developing JamUp, which is an evidence-based digital toolbox, primarily which is fun. The aim is to empower autistic children to complete difficult tasks and also give timely support by healthcare professionals to parents and carers. We do this through short videos and daily top tips. At the moment, we've created an MVP which just focuses on getting dressed, but we're currently developing other tasks for tooth cleaning and coping with puberty using our own developed co-production framework. This is a short video developed by Nia and Phoebe, two University of Plymouth students, film studies students, and it tells you a little bit more about our journey and about how JamUp works. We created JamUp. We initially created. Sorry. Just give it a second. Just pause it and try again. Created a kind of mock-up sort of little digital game for him. It was really simple, to stick man getting dressed, and James responded really well to it and really liked it.
Today I'm going to put on my school clothes. And my school jumper and my Jordan bottoms and my pants and my socks.
I prefer to have it in an order so you don't just put on like random stuff and like put on your like pants if you're trousers or something.
And then we can choose which pet we want. So I would normally choose that because it's a hot dog.
Elsie, should we start waking up Star to get dressed? Yeah. Okay. We've woken her up. Socks first.
Socks. Put on your school jumper.
Well
Well done for
done.
getting ready. You can send your pet into space. You can give your pet some pizza.
Which one should we do? Got this big. Okay. We're up in space.
I'm sorry, that was a little bit blurry. So yeah, we're also developing our digital platform in different areas in line with market needs. So we're just starting to do some pilot testing with adults with learning disabilities. And we're also exploring other areas of use, such as social care and education. We've got a range of different collaborations with different universities in England at the moment. So it's quite an exciting time for us at the moment. In terms of awards, in February we were runner-up in the Essex Care Tech Challenge, and we've been doing pilot testing across Essex, where we found that 89% of parents' carers reported that JamUp helped their child to be more independent with dressing. So just finally, yeah, please have a look at our website. We're really keen to get people to sign up to our waiting list. So if you think you might benefit from JamUp or know anyone who does, please look at our website and sign up to the waiting list. And we've also got a crowdfunder running at the moment. So if you go into crowdfunder and type autistic kids, you'll find us there. Please maybe follow us on our socials. We're now on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. And if you've got any questions, please drop me an email at rachel@jamup.net. Thank you.
Well done, Rachel. Fantastic. You know, I'm constantly amazed by how much you've achieved, Rachel. And as a solo founder, the amount of things you've got through over the last 6 months are incredible. But congratulations to you for everything you're doing. Tiana, maybe it's the first question from you, and then we'll go to Pedro.
Sure, thank you. I already talked to Rachel a few times. I think it's an amazing idea, amazing project mission and progress, as you mentioned, Stu. I just want to use this opportunity to ask about something we discussed last time. I know that Rachel has a really great and supportive community, and there is a possibility to do kind of beta testing and gathering feedback from them. So I was wondering how that's been working out.
Thank you. Yeah, we've done some recent pilot testing we've done it across Devon, Cornwall and Essex, but quite formally in Essex as part of our work for the Essex Care Tech Challenge project. So that involved 31 families. There was a sort of initial phase, then we made some changes informed by their feedback, and then we did a sort of second phase of testing and getting feedback. But yeah, one of the things we're kind of interested in at the moment, and speaking through kind of a university potential collaboration with, is kind of looking at how autistic children's feedback, so that we can understand it a little bit more, because communication can be a barrier. And obviously sometimes they might say something's good, but actually that might not be their true experience or feeling behind it. So we're really keen to kind of use different types of sort of audio, eye scanning, those kind of tools to be able to understand more about those areas as well.
Amazing, amazing. I think you can mention maybe a little bit more of that in the presentation, how you work with the community, this testing, what the results are, and just to mention that actually this phase is happening and it's really working out well, because many startups don't have the opportunity, they don't handle very well this part of testing, and you definitely do. So mention it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your help as well today.
Sure.
Senor Guimaraes?
First of all, congratulations, Rachel. That's an amazing project. Super congrats. I think what you're doing, it's one of the things that actually change the world. So kudos to you. My question is two-sided, which is, what are your biggest challenges now? And if we had a magic wand, what could we do for you to help solving them?
Oh, the magic wand question comes out so early in the evening. Fantastic. All right.
Thanks. Oh, that's a really good question. I think, well, we've just got, today actually just found out we've got this Growth Hub grant, which is really exciting, which is £48,000. We've got to match fund that. So I just could do with a little bit more support to sort of match fund the 48,000 we've got. So that's, and the other bit, which has been a real challenge, which we're just starting to kind of come through the other side of, is the kind of tech development side. It's taken us quite a long time to work out the best way to move forward with this, and the cheapest and most kind of cost-effective way of doing it. So it's looking like it might need to be a mixture of a kind of no-code platforms with quite complex coding as well, because of our gamification side. So yeah, that's still something that we're kind of working through. I think we're going to be there in the next couple of weeks.
Let me just note that I know a bit about gamification, so if I can provide any sort of help, just reach me offline, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay?
Oh, great, we'll do. Yeah, thank you very much, Pedro.
So, Rachel, here's my question: what does success look like for you in a year?
Oh, thanks. Well, I'm just really motivated to try and make a difference to lots of other families, because I guess I've had this sort of lived experience of knowing how tricky daily life can be, and sort of waiting to get that support that you need from healthcare professionals is just really tricky, because everyone wants to help their child at the right time. So I guess in a year's time, we'd hope that, I'm expecting that JamUp will be available with multiple different tasks that people can use, and yeah, maybe there's we've got our website full of pictures of different kids using it and sort of experiencing joy and positive outcomes from it.
How many kids will be success for you? Is it 10? Is it 100? Is it 1,000? Is it 10,000?
Oh, well, at the end of year 2, our sales targets are 33,000 at the moment. So that would be successful.
And what do you think the number one barrier is to get into 33,000?
I think it's actually maybe the marketing side of things. So because there's a huge need for this. Like if you just speak to somebody who's got an autistic child, they'll say, yeah, my child needs this. But I think it's kind of getting it out there to people that that we're creating this and that they could be part of it. And yeah, it would be useful to them. And I'm a physio, so I've got no experience on those side of things.
Okay. Colombo?
Don't mind, Stuart. Just an idea. You could partner with. You can do it right now in the UK, just with English. But later, if you get the translated version of it, you can partner with local organizations, associations of parents and kids with not just kids, but people in general with this sort of challenge, and they can both bring you traction and feedback, a lot of feedback. because you can be exposed to a multitude of environments, backgrounds, different ages, different experiences. And I'm sure that as long as you can find a way to make that trial that is accessible to them, I'm sure they'll be willing to, at least talk to you, because you'll be bringing a lot of help. So that could be a real way to expand rapidly. I would probably depend on marketing. I would prefer partnerships and direct relationships with that sort of organizations, because not just they are your core target, but they are already having put in place, people that can learn from data, people that can, medical experts, help you, read the data, whatever, and well, just tip.
So Rachel, the number one thing we'd advise any solo founder or first-time founder is to make sure you've got a good mentor who's somebody who's maybe, if you say yours is EdTech as an example, has done an EdTech similar kind of product to you, 18 months, 2 years ahead of you. That's the perfect mentor. You can surrogate from all of us at Canopy, but that would be our number one recommendation. Do you have such a mentor at the moment? Somebody can pull you through on the process?
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I'm part of the Kumu Create Growth program, and you get a mentor signed up through that way. So yeah, my mentor's got a lot of experience in this area, so he's been amazing. I definitely couldn't have made the progress that we have without him. So yeah, that's been an amazing opportunity.
Fantastic. I mean, statistically, you improve your outcomes by about 30%. So just by getting a really good mentor on, it's the first thing to do. All right, fantastic. So who are we next? Well, Paul, right? So come on, Paul, take us to the next place. We're going from EdTech to a bit more FinTech, I think we'll call it. Okay. There you are.
With no deposit.
So I'm going to start by sharing a video, and then I'll go into my slides.
What if you could buy a home with no deposit, no interest, and no minimum payment? Just pay what you can afford, when you can, whenever you want to. Home Transitions is the next generation of shared ownership. You pay market rent, but then you can buy equity in your own home at any time. Why buy coffee when you can buy equity? Increase your equity at any time and the rent goes down until you own the whole property and there's no rent to pay. Lingu makes it fast, painless and more affordable to buy. The most energy efficient, biodiverse, environmentally friendly homes from the UK's top house builders.
Excellent. And I'm just going to switch you over to my slides. And hopefully that's up. Okay, you can see that?
Yeah, good. Perfect.
When I was growing up, my friends and family didn't have any money. There was no bank of mom and dad to help you buy your first house. That's why our mission is to create economic empowerment by improving access to finance and assisting families to create financial security and build generational wealth through home ownership, especially for those from communities with historically low levels of home ownership. We are Lenity. My name is Paul Watts, and I've been in property for over 20 years and in private lending since 2006. I wrote the UK's first book on private mortgages in 2010. Lenity is my life's work. Will is the head of operations. He just left Homes England, where he used to run the UK government's £20 billion help to buy mortgage scheme and was previously at the FCA. Lucy was CFO at an e-money provider, and Rashida spent 9 years at Hogan Lovells. Together, we make home buying fast, painless, and more affordable. Lenity is changing the game in real estate through business model innovation by taking lessons from the car industry. Over 90% of new cars are purchased on finance. In fact, all the major car manufacturers finance the majority of their customers with their own finance companies, which is what's led to Volkswagen Financial Services becoming the largest issuer of securitization in the world. Please let that sink in. That's car finance, but homes are the biggest ticket consumer item. The power comes from having income from manufacturing and finance, which enables them to which gives them a bigger margin, which they use to make their products more affordable. In the USA, H.R. Horton, the #1 home builder by volume, owns its own mortgage lender. And that is what Linguity provides as a service, enabling developers to create custom purchase offers for their ideal customers for each unit independently of the market. Let me take you on the Linguity home buying journey, which takes you from show home to home ownership in 14 days, regardless of whether you're a first-time buyer or an overseas investor. For consumers, we make buying a home fast, painless, and more affordable. For house builders, we enable them to sell more homes faster and make more money. This is an urgent issue. Michael Grove, the Secretary of State for Levelling Up and Housing, says the current housing model from supply to standards to the mortgage market is broken. Times are so difficult for SME house builders that 80% of them have already gone out of business. And in 2023, we set a record for the largest number of subcontractors going out of business. The UK's capacity to build homes has been decreasing for years, with high interest rates, high property prices, and reduced disposable incomes have the country running towards the edge of a cliff. We've developed our offer over the last 18 months working with one of the UK's largest house builders, and their minimum order is worth over 1.5 billion in lending, and that's just one customer. We get paid from sign-up fees, subscription fees, transaction fees, and affiliate fees. Linguity is a home buying revolution. Linguity is the change that you've always wanted to see in housing. Thank you.
Well, I like what you did there. And I think, Paul, one of the particularly good, strong points is the way you build the credibility of the team there and the team profiles. That really sort of pushes the whole message. I feel like people want to listen to the rest of it when they've seen that team slide. I think you've placed that really well in the sequence. What about you, Pedro? And then we'll go to Tiana. What do you think about this one?
Well, first of all, congratulations, Paul. I have seen before you pitching this project, and it's amazing the improvement. The first time I was a bit confused about what was exactly Linguity, and this time it was crystal clear. So congrats. Being coachable, it's probably one of the most important traits of a founder. So I'm super happy for you. My question for you is, since you are providing a new way of rethinking the whole ecosystem, that will imply having a lot of cash coming into the system, because one of the reasons that house building is so slow is that a lot of people stopped investing in doing that. And how do you plan to solve that? How can Linguity bring something, and how can you finance Linguity's program, if that's a question for you?
Right. So no, that's great. What we're experiencing is a combination of things going on in the market. So house builders are having trouble selling, and that means that people don't want to fund them to build. We don't come from that side of the equation. We help them to sell what they've already built and make money doing that, and that drives them to build more homes, because if you can't sell what you've got, you don't build more. Right. And in terms of us funding customers' purchases, because we do not provide funding to house builders, we provide funding to their customers. We're purely customer financing, and that takes a range of different offers, from mortgages to other things which aren't mortgages, which enable them to purchase and speeding up the purchase. But the volume of our money for funding mortgages comes from securitization. We are quite well connected in the securitization community.
Teach us what securitization means, Paul. Go for the layperson definition.
Okay, so basically, you have money markets where big funds like BlackRock, KKR, you've got the investment banks actually invest in funding mortgages. They fund lots of other types of products, and you're pooling that up, and then it's different people invest in purchasing the financing of expensive items, basically. Hopefully that explains it a little bit.
I don't know. What do you think, Naveen? Do you understand securitization?
No, not completely.
See, and he's quite smart. So you got to try again, Paul.
Right.
Give us another try.
Okay. So what we're doing is basically it's asset-backed securities. So when we issue a mortgage, that mortgage is then sold to an investor. That investor might be a bank, it might be a big fund, and that process is called securitization. Is that
Okay, so
a
it's
little
all
bit
based
easier?
on the, okay, it's all based on the assets that what you give, the loans, or
Sorry?
so you said assets, right? So on what assets they
Yes.
give, like so based on the
We
asset they
provide
give.
mortgages.
All right. Okay.
We provide mortgages, and we have the first charge over every property that we lend on, right? And so that gives security. And there's a lot of people who invest in the mortgage market, a lot of companies in pension funds, insurance, banks. The mortgage investing is a big industry,
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks for
including
that.
building societies as well.
So Tiana, what's your question or feedback for Paul?
Sounds like a really good idea. Definitely, it is a problem. Housing, and it seems you have an amazing team. That's really impressive. Great presentation. All in all, there are 2 points for me missing. One is the explanation of the actual mechanism. For us, or at least for me, that for not from the finance background, it's not very clear. And the second thing is the overview of the competition, comparison of the competition. I guess there is no direct competition, but maybe a couple of points comparing with the traditional system of purchasing houses, and that is also connected with understanding the mechanism. I think that will help in the pitch a lot. That's something it was missing for me. And yeah, now that we have, if we have a couple of more minutes, maybe we can do this now, this kind of a comparison.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
So the traditional way homes are purchased is slow and painful. You know, they go out to a broker, they help them find a mortgage, then they go and out for a look for a house. And even though there's quite a few lenders that can make a decision within 10 to 15 minutes, the average time at the moment is over 5 months for a sale to complete. Right, regardless of where you go, you're hitting 5 months. With us, it's like purchasing a car. You go to the house builder, from them they refer you to us, right? And the whole process takes 14 days. So because we're in control of the whole sales process, right? So that's why we're able to do in 14 days. We know everything about the property before a buyer comes along. We have all that information from the house builder. You do an application with us, and then we hand that information over to the conveyancer that you've chosen, right? Uploading everything required to complete in one go. So it's a very streamlined process. The other thing is that we help them. We work like car finance in terms of like Mercedes having Mercedes finance, in that we help the house builder to finance everything that they sell for all different types of customers, right? And so we create hyper personalized offers which are targeted at different types of buyers. Just like if you went into Mercedes, you get different finance for an A class or for a B class or for a C class. All the different cars have different offers. We enable house builders to do that.
I see. Thank you for the explanation. So would you say that traditional banks are in any way competition to you because they have the system? So if they make this connection, the missing link, can they become serious competition for you?
Well, no, not really. They're much better off partnering with us. Like I was talking about when I was talking about securitization, it's better for them to invest in mortgages, because the reality is that the way our system works, we can do a lot of things that they just can't do. Right? Even if they pump money into it, the fact is we're tied to the house builder and they have an interest in it, and by working with them, we have an internal flow of information that they just don't get, which means that we know everything about a property before a buyer comes along. They work from the buyer point of view, so they're helping a buyer to buy a property, where we help a house builder to sell everything that they sell. That's why I always use the car industry model. If you think, if you're buying a Mercedes, you can't beat Mercedes finance, right? Because they have that connection and vested interest in financing their products. Does that help a little bit?
That definitely helps. So is there a company similar to yours in the car industry?
Well, I'm saying that our model is captive lending, and what that means is the manufacturer owns the finance company. So in the car industry, all the major manufacturers own their finance company, and they finance 80% of their customers. So they have complete control of their financing. We work in the same way for house builders, right? So we provide a service to any house builder that signs up. Then they have complete control of their financing. Finance becomes a revenue stream for them, which means that they have control over the offers. It can so they can target different ideal customers.
All clear. Thank you very much. Well, maybe an explanation in the pitch would be helpful for the others. Thank you. And
there's so much to your story, right, Paul? And I think one of the key things I remember for our first chat is car manufacturers make more money from the finance of selling their car than they do in selling the car in the first place, right? So there's a very profitable piece over there for them.
It's a third of their income, and they are financing the majority of their customers. But I think the big takeaway is Volkswagen Finance is the largest issue of securitization in the world, right? And they're selling cars, and they're the biggest issue of securitization. Homes are the biggest consumer item. That's the biggest mass purchase, homes. But yet car finances, and the reason for that is because they have captive lending. They have that captive lending model.
Thanks, Paul. No, I know Rachel's got to leave us in a minute. No, Colombo, hold. I know Rachel's got to leave us in a minute. So if I can just get some feedback from her about your idea, and I don't want to lose that before you go, Rachel. You're on mute at the moment.
Sorry. Yeah, you've made amazing progress, Paul. Yeah, I really like the way you kind of compare it to the car industry model as well. I think that helps illustrate what you're doing really well. But yeah, my question is to you, what's the biggest sort of challenge that you've overcome as a startup to date?
I think the biggest challenge was getting funding for lending, right? And getting into that securitization community in order to raise funds to fund mortgages. And that's also been our biggest success. Right? We have sort of accessed it, just vast amounts of money to provide lending, right? But it was hard to get in.
Oh wow, well done.
Thanks, Rachel.
And we still make a very fast comment. Just a very fast comment.
Go for it.
May I ask you?
Come on, Colombo.
What I think is brilliant in what you're doing is, and I know a bit about this place, but just a bit. A bank is trying to make money by lending money. A car company or a house builder is trying to make money selling houses or selling cars. When the car makers build their own financial companies, whatever, the focus is not on the cost, is on selling out the existing inventory. So let's say I'm a car maker and I can make a 3% discount on the price of my house. If I bring in my financial company, I can offer, and it's a common interest rate, the 3%, for example. I can offer you a mortgage with 0 interest rate. It's equals to me making a 3% discount on the price of the house. Okay, I'm just simplifying things, of course. And so you can use more levers to reach the same goal, which that is so brilliant what they can do. And in the end, they have a full control of the process because they can have a lot of savings on unneeded admin tasks because they know the real value of the asset. They don't need to send a guy making the valuation of the asset and so on and so forth. And so they can shrink those costs and make it a lot more cost effective. That's why I think it's brilliant, your idea. And now you just need to get a lot of traction holding a huge portfolio of houses. And once you have the portfolio of houses, you just go to the guys that sell money. And it's it.
Thank you.
Let's hope
it also
Paul
reduces
remembers who we
consumer
are.
risk.
Sorry, Paul.
Talking about the risk, there is a question from the audience, still that I think is quite interesting.
Yeah, so we'll take this one just before we hand over to David. So, Paul, the question from Matt is, where does the risk sit if you securitize mortgages?
Right. So we're the originator. So that means that we're responsible for servicing the loan, that's managing the loan, collecting the payments. So as the originator, you could say it sits with us, but it's also secured against a physical asset. So just like any other lender, we're responsible for the loan, responsible for looking after the customer, but it is secured against the property.
So
See, this
ultimately,
one
you can
was
claim
like
the property back.
I just remember the video from the beginning. It sounds like too good to be true. Like you pay when you want, what you want, how much you want, or like you don't pay. So how does that work? There has to be some rules, right?
Yes, that's a specific offer, and that product is not a mortgage. So we don't just offer mortgages. That product is a specific offer that's not a mortgage. It's a Sharia compliant lending product. Right, so it has no interest and no debt, and it allows fractional purchase of equity.
So cool. All right. Well, if there are any more questions, hopefully we'll see them in the chat. But well done, Paul. And David, it's now time for you, my friend. 5 minutes from a linguamo perspective. So please bring the Portuguese/German flavor to us.
Yes, Stuart. Thank you for the introduction. Let's get started. So, can you see my screen?
No, not at the moment, mate.
Not at the moment. Okay. Different options here.
StreamYard is our friend. Okay, we'll give you a couple more seconds there. Where, if you want, we can move over to Prasanna and Naveen and come back to you.
Trying it again. So
yeah,
now.
Looking good. Well done. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the introduction, Stuart. Yes. So I'm David Fischer. I'm co-founder and CEO of Linguamo. So we are an edtech impact startup from Portugal, and our focus is on language learning. So this is the first time I'm going to pitch our investment deck. So it's brand new. We have finished it yesterday. So let's go through it. Yeah, so our aim is the ask of 250K. So mostly to better our product, iterate it, give a start to our AI model, reach the first 1K of paying learners, and to hire the first part of our team. So the main problem or issues that we see in language learning market today is that most providers have only addressing a fraction of the solution. So they typically focus on specific languages or locations, and there's a lack of global training options. So, and the result is that company need to hire more than one provider to have a good solution for all their needs. So second point is that, yeah, most of our competitors fail and tailor really the learner, the content to the learner needs. So standardization of material and restriction of learning resources. And one big issue is as well the lack of transparency. So when it comes to the outcome, most other training opportunities only can give you a vague return on the waste and time and money, and that's important for a company to know. So a little bit more about us. Yes, I mentioned we are an impact startup. So our mission is language for all, so democratization of language learning, even for people who can't afford it for now. So that is made by our donation-based scholarships. Our vision is to bring the best of 3 worlds of language learning on one platform together. So that means, the live trainers making the training online, enhanced by AI-powered tools and personalized content, and to combine that with immersive learning experiences. So that is our funding team. We are in 3, and collectively we have over 28 years of experience in the language learning environment. And as well, important to mention that our co-founder, Ronnie, has successfully launched and sold 2 global language schools at the moment. So this is about our customer persona. So the global learning innovator is a decision maker in personal development of an international mid-sized company. And the main challenges are transparency and measurable results to justify the investment, and to have a flexible solution that adapts to processes and time zones and to the existing system. So the motivation is to explore and adapt innovative solutions to staying competitive, and to enhance the expats' workforce skills and performance. Preferences lies on good reporting and to have really only one provider for a global solution. So our market is a huge market. So in the last year, it was around $30 billion, and it will more than double in the next 4 years. So our revenue model is based on monthly subscriptions, starting from 72 euros for group lessons. And for companies, we will have tailored packages and as well closed groups. Our teachers will earn between 30 and 35% of the fees. Here we have some of our competitors in Europe. And the first step, we will cover a part of that. And then step by step, we will reach full competitiveness with other tools that we will develop in the next upcoming month. So we are here on the status quo. So we have the experience. We have around 100K certified teachers worldwide. The platform is ready for beta testing, and we will go live in June. Additional to mention that we have already a customer base of international businesses and companies in private education. Yeah, that's our solution. So the language learning one-stop shop. Our methodology will focus on functional language skills and strategically tailored learning content to the learner needs through AI, full transparency for the outcome, and that comes to the maximum of return of investment for the company. And tailored solution 24/7. A little bit more about our MVP. So it will enable us to run a 24/7 global language school with 2 user groups. And we have some additional features already into it, integrations that we need to have a good solution for a start with our first customers. So thank you for you're watching the presentation, and interested for your questions and your feedback. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, David. I think we'll go to Tiana for the first question, but just before she jumps in, I think for me, the biggest piece of feedback, having obviously seen you a few different times, is your persona has reverted. I really liked what you did with the innovator persona of the Lusophone, kind of Portuguese speaking from Africa, IT skilled worker as your innovator trying to get into foreign markets. I really liked that. I thought it was compelling and it was narrow. You've reverted back to a more general one. What's going on there? Why have you done the reversion?
We started more focusing on B2C customers, and then a big part was your feedback as well, Stuart. So to tailor it better, we know the B2B market better. So from the past, and that was one of the main points why we tailored it in a different way now.
But I think today it was a bit more general, right? When we talked earlier in the week, you were really narrow, and you were very clear about this kind of Portuguese speaking, but from the I'll call it the old colony type countries that were now doing lots of IT, wanting to become more English proficient. This kind of worker had a compelling need and a good amount of money, but today was a bit more general. We didn't say Portuguese speaking, you didn't say Africa based or where any of that stuff, right? So why? I guess my feedback is be more narrow. You're in an early stage, right? When you start to say I'm trying to boil the world, it becomes very difficult for people to invest in. So Tiana, what's your question and feedback for David?
David, nice to see your new page. So here is the feedback. Just a general thing, it's always better to use less text. So if you can use bullet points instead of paragraphs, and then it also helps like skipping some words and having a larger font, I think that would make it much easier to follow. Regarding this like target persona, we discussed that it makes sense actually from at least one point of view to focus on B2B, because the unique value proposition of Linguamo is that they cover so many languages and so many time zones, unlike many other schools, which is particularly helpful for the businesses. Plus, they have like decades of experience working with businesses in this domain of teaching languages. But let's assume, okay, so we are focusing on B2B, that this needs to be more clear. I'm not even sure if B2B as a term it was mentioned, or even if it was, like it was not so clear. And then also for me, the confusing part was like the donations. I really love the idea of the impact startups, but then I don't understand where these donations come into the picture when you're working with the businesses. When you were working with B2C, then I understood that you would support the learners, maybe the target persona that you mentioned. But now if working with B2B, I don't understand these donations. Do they go to businesses? I guess not. So that part is confusing. And the fourth point I want to mention is, you mentioned that you have the network of businesses that have the need for this kind of service. Can you use them as beta testers? Because it's one thing when you test with individual students, and another thing when you test with businesses. You need to see if the businesses are also, the testing with individual students is also good, just to see how the platform works. But if the businesses would be happy with like what they get as a business customer right out of it, and then once you do that, then it would be good to mention this as also proof of traction, even if in beta. So yeah, I don't know if I gave too many things at once to you as feedback. So maybe we start talking about this B2B focus we have now.
Yeah, so one point is some of the mentioned potential customers are part of the beta testing, so they will attend it.
Okay, that's great.
And yeah, so that's one of the questions. And yeah, so we will tailor it more to that direction. So that doesn't mean that we only will work with B2B clients. We have several other B2C persons in the beta testing range. And regarding the scholarship program, yes. So businesses as well can donate for it. So we will ask them. So if it's possible to give the opportunity for people who can't afford it for now. For example, if the company will have one closed group, or have training for 5 people, we could ask them if it's possible to give more Lingos for another person into the scholarship bucket.
Okay, that sounds good. Then just like my final comment, if you are going for this B2B, so kind of leaving aside the personas you mentioned, going for B2B, then mention this unique value proposition, why you are really good for businesses. Mention what the offer is specific for the businesses in terms of like some package pricing, the participation report that you mentioned to me when we talked last time, because otherwise we don't see why B2B is your focus compared to the other like classic language schools attending individual students. So that would be, I think, a very good addition to this page if you decide to proceed with this B2B way, and I think you should.
Thank you for your feedback.
So I think it's a really good example, before we turn to Pedro, David, of how everybody can see the deck with different eyes. And when you're preparing for an investor, you've got to get it so it's yes, 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 all the way through. And a lot of that process for the pitch versus the business plan versus the future type stuff is about thinning it out so that the only things that are there and the only things you say are the things that get a yes. When you get a maybe or a confused look or a no, then they don't go any further, because as we do in the training, you know, they only look for the first reason to say no, particularly in the first pass, which is kind of this moment, right? So maybe you get a teaser in front of them, then you get the pitch, and in that pitch, you've got to get through 5 minutes of yeses, nothing but yes. No confusion, no disclarity, no I wonder, no complexity, no threads they're not quite finished. It's just got to be yeses all the way through. All right, Senor Guimaraes, over to you, and then I'll ask for reflection from Paul before we finish.
Okay, I'm just make a brief comment because we still need to listen to Prasanna and Vin. But first of all, congrats, David. I've met you last November, I think, and it's amazing the improvement that you've been doing in this, I would say, 4, 5, 6 months. The focus on B2B, I understand, and by the way, I agree, because if you could focus, Portugal is today a great destination for expats from different countries. So if you can find people that are the companies that are willing to invest in ensuring that they can provide some sort of let's say comfort for their expats coming to Portugal to live in and work from Portugal, that is not just only an opportunity to get a customer with specific individuals that you need to train, but if you succeed, that same company probably sending also expats to other countries. And so if you succeed in training them in Portuguese to live in Portugal, maybe tomorrow they need to train them in German because they have a team in Germany, and so on and so forth and so forth. Just a tip. Global companies have like teams internally, departments, or hire companies that are in charge of helping people move, so relocation and other things like that. So if you are in the companies in such a company and now you're working to Singapore, there is someone within the team that can help you and put you in contact with local guys, finding a school, finding a house, blah 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 and blah.
Yeah.
I would target specifically those guys, at least to get some feedback and from their real needs. And if you can, probably they can give you a very interesting prospect consumer insights. Okay, just a tip.
Thank you, Pedro.
Congrats.
All right, now I'm asking for a reflection from Paul, partly because you're kind of serving in similar ways. David's about helping people with language even though they can't afford it, and you're about opening up mortgages and home ownership to a whole different group of people who are maybe underserved at the moment. So, Paul, what is your reflection on David's approach? You're on mute, by the way, brother. Yeah.
Sorry, it was off the edge of my screen. I think my overarching opinion is that it's all about, there's lots of challenges faced in within the underserved communities, and I think that the puzzles, the little pieces fit together to meet the whole. Yeah, so all the bits are needed to combine for people to move forward. So I just think it's really important that we have people working in for all the different aspects, because it's just it's like when somebody's sick, you can't just treat a part of the person, you have to treat the whole person. So that's why I feel that they're all combining to the whole, and it's all necessary pieces along that journey to raise living standards and improve the life of underserved markets.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Good to have you today. All right, now we're going to do the final one. And I'm sorry we're not running very well to time, you guys. I'm going to try and keep you tight because we're just going over the hour, but we've saved the best till last. Or have we? Maybe you should prove the point. Come on then. Prasanna and Naveen, the time is yours.
Oh, let me just present it. Hi, am I audible? Okay. Hi, I'm Prasanna. I'm the founder of BigMo. BigMo stands for Big Moments, Big Money, Big Momentum. We are an app that motivates and encourages users to stick to their spending plan so that they could afford the big moments in life tomorrow. So I have two asks for today. So we are raising a seed round of 250K, and we are looking at strategic investors who believe in our mission and we accept checks upwards of 25K. And secondly, I'm looking for connectors who can connect us with personal finance experts and also help with partnerships in traditional banks and building societies. Without wasting much time, let me move on. So before we get onto BigMo, let me take a small diversion and let's talk about fitness. Picture this. John is keen to improve his fitness and he is willing to commit to walk 10K steps a day for 30 days. And he, like many others, he is using a step counter app on his phone to guide him in achieving his goal. It all started okay, but after a few days, his motivation levels waned off, and he couldn't meet his step goal. So what's going on here? As we have all experienced, a simple tracking something simply is not good enough to keep you on track. Now let's move on from fitness to finances to savings. Now, saving money is one of the fundamental needs and desire for many individuals. It's not just hard, it's boring and it takes ages. No wonder 1 in 4 UK adults have less than £100 in savings today. And like fitness goals, it has a lot of similarities with fitness, and also it has its share of challenges as well, which are common to both finance and fitness. So the first one is delayed gratification, and the delayed gratification is the fact that it takes several months and years to feel the outcomes and to get the joy of saving money, whereas it's not more instant like binge watching your favorite episodes on Netflix or impulse spending on your credit cards. Second, these both savings as well as fitness goals often takes a lot of willpower and motivation to do repeated tasks over long stretches of time. So that is a second factor which comes against the weight of people saving money. And third, we need to be accountable to ourselves in order to achieve these goals. So people have nothing to lose today by not doing these actions. Now, surely you might be wondering, there are apps out there in this space which are designed to help people to save money. Well, let me tell you a unique insight for you. Existing solutions aren't designed to enable savings. 95% of the apps out there in this space, both in the UK and in the US, are either dashboard type apps, which are more like your expense trackers, or the auto saving apps on the right, which are passive short-term small savings solutions. So the dashboard type apps are designed to work backwards. They are not like forward-looking. While auto-saving apps are more of, they help you to squirrel away money from your current account to move to an external account. And they work passively, so they don't influence any of the spending decisions. And that's where BigMo comes in. BigMo enables savings, and it makes the daunting long-term saving goals achievable by transforming them into manageable monthly targets, and offering the motivation, the accountability, and the incentives required to stay committed across several months and years. And this is how it actually works. You start by setting your savings or spending goals, and then you link your bank accounts. We are FCA regulated, and we link to all the major UK bank accounts and credit cards. And then BigMo uses this, your linked accounts and your goals in order to create a personalized spending plan, a plan that you could realistically achieve. Now, creating a plan is one thing, but achieving the plan is a different matter altogether. So BigMo enables that part of it by getting the users to participate in a 28-day recurring monthly spending challenge to motivate yourself and keep yourself accountable to achieve these goals. Now, as you're disciplined with your money, you get to earn bits. Bits is our in-app virtual currency that we award for positive financial discipline. And each week, as you're disciplined with money, you use these bits in order to participate in live auctions to win exciting rewards. The rewards get better and bigger the more you perform. And also, as you are reaching your weekly milestones, you get to play a mini game that in turn provides more rewarding opportunity. Now, BigMo is a money app that doubles as a goal machine. You get the insights that you would typically expect out of a money app, but you also get the power of a goal machine that will propel you towards reaching your goals faster. And with BigMo, you're not just challenging yourself to achieve your own goals, but you're also competing with your peers to earn these rewards. So there's the power of this social influence as well. Now, compared to the market, we are positioning ourselves as the only enabler for medium-term savings. Okay, so we are different in a number of ways. We are highly engaged and gamified goal-centric solution that focuses on results versus the other products out there, which are more offering you a DIY style of budgeting and saving. And second, we are designed for habit formation, and we leverage behavioral economics and game mechanics at the core to motivate users to achieve their goals. And we are also the only product which offers gamified incentives attached to spending discipline that gets better and bigger. And last but not the least, we are also leveraging the power of social influence to keep people accountable and motivated. The opportunity here is huge. We are looking to acquire a market size of north of £1 billion, and we are considered 4 different tangible revenue streams. And we are looking at to start in the UK, but also to move to America, primarily US. And so we have actually got some good traction from both the customers as well as speaking to big banks, and we got selected in 2 different banks partnership program in the last couple of years. So we've got some good positive feedback from both the customers, as in the users, and also from banks. And we have So we are live on the App Store and Play Store right now. We have done close to 100 iterations already. And now we are at a stage where we are looking to build our brand further and build our community a bit more, and form some crucial partnerships that will help us to grow. So that's basically it. Like, let me remove this, and maybe I will try to just give a quick demo, if it is 30 seconds. Is it okay?
Yeah, go for it. We're all good.
Yeah.
And if anybody needs to drop off, David or whatever, if you need to leave as we've gone over the hour, please, you're most welcome. It's been good to have you here.
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. So in keeping with the rest of the thing, I would like to ask for a reflection from David and then from Paul before we go to questions from Tiana and finish off with Pedro. So David, your reflection on this?
Prasanna, thank you for the presentation. And I think it's an interesting solution for people who have this pain that they don't getting rewards for their don't spending money and have only the joy later. And I would be interested to learn more about it. So thank you, and all the luck and success for you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Paul, what's your reflection on this? You know, you're on mute, right?
I like it. I think that saving is a really important habit, a really fundamental financial discipline. It won't make you rich, but the financial discipline of it's really important. And I think with gamification being the way everything's kind of going now, and if you don't gamify it, people just seem not to connect. So I think it's really useful. So I'm quite keen on it.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
All right, Tiana, what's your question and feedback? And then we'll close out with the Pedro Guimaraes.
I really like the idea because we have, unfortunately, in this consumer world, we have too many people with literal shopping addictions. So I think this is really good to have for building these healthy habits regarding everybody's finances. I also like to see that we have the traction, so it works. That's nice. The pitch itself, I would say there was like too much text and content, difficult to follow. If it's like a PDF that you send to somebody, perfect. But for a pitch, it was a little bit difficult to follow everything, and it's a shame because it's such a great idea and business. So it would be nice if we could also have our attention on you and what you're saying, and not trying to read everything. So maybe think about this, and we can have this as a PDF, and then have something for just slides. Maybe I would like to ask how this works with this. How you mentioned you get some credits, and then you can bid for getting some present, maybe that part, and also who invests in that? Do you prepay as a business these presents, or there are some partners that actually sell them in real time, or like how does that work?
So the first one is that as the users are in a challenge, they are in a challenge mode, and they are participating in a 28-day recurring spending challenge to motivate themselves to achieve their goals. And as they are progressing on this challenge, they get to earn these bits, which is our in-app currency. And then they use these bits to participate in auctions to win these rewards, which are various gift cards and experiences, etc. Which ranges from £10 to £100. So these auctions are happening every day. Okay, so use the bids. So the more disciplined you are with your money, the higher the chances of you earning these rewards. So it simply works out that way. And also you have other opportunities to earn rewards through mini game play, etc.
Cool, but how do you organize these gifts?
So coming back to your second point, so we are not just the challenge, and we are also offering you the insights, the aspects of getting you to reach your goals. So for this, we charge a subscription, like all these products in the space works in this area. So we also do a monthly subscription, App Store subscription based model. Which is available on the App Store as well as in the Play Store. So we are funding this rewards and incentives right now. But in the future, we don't see this model itself is scalable based on our unit economics. This is possible and highly scalable. But in the future, if we need to, we can actually partner with other rewarding providers, etc.
Very good. Thank you.
No worries. I mean, I take your feedback on board. Around the around the deck, and maybe you'll look at improving it slightly.
Okay, cool.
Storytelling's a skill, right? You know, you've got a great story in there. We just got to get it out in the way that, that reaches people. So, Senor Guimaraes, bring us home.
Okay, just first comments, then questions. Comments. First, congrats. Love the idea. We already chatted before. I think your pitch improved a lot. Having the need to connect with the bank will bring you challenges in the future once you start scaling to other countries, but probably you'll have a solution for that. I find super funny that I get paid in virtual currency for saving real money. So I think that's a very funny part of it. And the question is, when I use my bits in auctions, do I lose them if I don't win the auction? And the second part of the question is, what is the business model? Am I paying to be taught to save money? You see the conflict here? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Or is
like
this a freemium model?
So it's I mean, let me answer the first question. That's quite an easy one. Like, you know, it's so we yes, naturally when you don't win a prize, you'll retain your bits. So you will lose the bits when you win the auction. So that's how it works. If you are placing the highest bid during the period, so then in that case you would actually lose those bits, but otherwise you retain those bits. So that is how it has always worked we have been conducting these auctions for the last 1 year, and this works very well. Sorry, and the second question is you asked about, okay, so paying to save. This is a common question. Okay, so it's not like it's some people ask this question. Okay, so what we are as a product, we are on a mission to help people achieve goals, and we are the only product, as I mentioned in my deck, we are the only product that is focused on results. Okay, so we are committing that, you know, that we expect people to save upwards of 150 to 750 pounds a month, in excess of what they are already doing per month. So people have used, you know, it's not like you are paying to save the money. So we are looking at people, we are targeting people who are unable to save, and who have the discretionary spending, but who are looking to save more and believe that they could do better. So those are the people whom we are targeting. To give you an example, an app in this space in the US, there are many apps in this space, as in, like, some of these apps are actually selling at around 12 pounds or 13 pounds a month. Okay, so this is people understand the reasoning behind why you know, this is important, because they want to be feeling in control of their spending and saving money. So they do get this point, and millions of people are already paying for similar apps. So that way, that there is already proof in the market for this. And secondly, we are not targeting people who are already saving money. We are looking at people who are unable to save money. So since this uplift of 150 to 750 pounds a month, it becomes easy to actually sell this outcomes. To sell this product for the outcomes that we are delivering. If it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right, we have a question from the chat from Matt. Do you find customers have concerns around privacy due to integrating into their bank accounts? And if so, how do you put their minds at ease? And then further idea for product development, could the evidence of good spending habits be used to help boost individuals' credit scores?
It's a good yeah, good questions, actually. And thanks for asking, Matt. So, you know, integrating with bank accounts was an issue 5 to 6 years back when open banking just kickstarted. Okay, so that was thought about as an issue, but over the last few years, and now there are I mean, I think more than 4 million to 5 million users who are already linking bank accounts with these trusted third parties like ourselves. So there's a lot of maturity in this space, and so we have come a long way in this open banking. So people don't see that as an issue per se. And so that is one thing. So we are not so far had any major issues about, oh, I'm not really sure if I want to link my bank accounts. No, I mean, some people do say that, but it's just a very tiny minority of people. But broadly speaking, that is not an issue. The second one is a good idea. We have thought about it, but it's in the medium to long term. It is definitely something that we can look at, but we have just parked it for the medium to long term. I mean, using this as a credit score could be is definitely a good one.
Okay, fantastic. Well, look, we're way over time today, and I thank you all so much for being here and for carrying on through to the end. I think it's been a brilliant session that's really highlighted some great things that are going on at the moment. And I just ask Tiana and Pedro to reflect. What have we gained from being here today?
For me, it was really a pleasure seeing the startups. Thank you, Pedro. I already took the liberty. Seeing startups that I already know for quite some time and seeing the progress. And also that we have actually practically all the ideas are impact missions to a certain extent, right? So that's amazing. That for me was the highlight. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Tiana. What about you, Pedro? What have we gained from being here?
Actually, I gained a lot because it's always so inspiring to meet people like the nice gents and ladies here present, including you and Tiana, of course. But I agree with Tiana. It's wonderful to see real problems that we can easily understand that are real being tried and seeing people trying to solve it on a creative way and in an innovative way, coming from their hearts, coming from their personal experiences, coming from the challenges they faces of people they know and they're close to the problem, and this amazing ability to listen and integrate what they think is relevant from um, conversations with mentors or whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm living today with even more hope in the future in mankind because there's a lot of guys trying to solve a lot of different problems, and we need a lot. I said it before. If we could build a big enough coalition of like-minded people trying to save the world, we could make some amazing things. So always great to be here. Congrats, guys.
Thanks, Pedro. Thanks, everybody. Let's finish with the silly wave.
Thank you.
See you in June in London.
See you in London. Take care.
Yeah.